In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 college basketball games happening on January 18, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Alabama versus Kentucky. The Alabama Crimson Tide and the Kentucky Wildcats are set to face off this Saturday in an exciting college basketball matchup at the iconic Rupp Arena. This game is shaping up to be a true toss-up, as both teams bring unique strengths and vulnerabilities to the court. While Alabama hasn't consistently showcased its offensive prowess in recent outings, this team has proven that when called upon, their offense can deliver in a big way. On the other hand, Kentucky has demonstrated a more stable performance on the offensive end, making them an appealing choice for bettors, especially considering the immense advantage of playing at Rupp Arena. Known as one of the most challenging road environments in all of college basketball, Rupp Arena often tilts the scales in Kentucky's favor. However, Kentucky's defense has shown cracks and remains susceptible to high-powered offenses like Alabama's. Notably, the Crimson Tide has bounced back effectively this season, going 3-0 after losses. Meanwhile, Kentucky may be riding high with confidence after securing wins over Texas Agricultural and Mechanical, Mississippi State, and Florida in 2025 so far. So the Alabama Crimson Tide to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Alabama's offensive struggles were glaring in their recent home game against Ole Miss on Tuesday. In that matchup, the Tide managed a mere 1 point per possession in a 74-64 loss, a performance that included hitting only 25% of their three-point attempts. Turnovers compounded their issues as Alabama gave the ball away 21 times, a deficit that is nearly impossible to overcome in a highly competitive league like the Southeastern Conference this year. This dismal showing marked Alabama's lowest offensive output of the season and the fewest points a NCAA-led Alabama team has scored since their 2023 NCAA tournament loss to San Diego State. Meanwhile, Kentucky seems to be gaining momentum, having secured 2 consecutive wins after their loss to Georgia. In these victories, the Wildcats scored at least 81 points in each game. Despite their offensive success, defensive vulnerabilities remain a significant concern for Kentucky, even during their recent home victory over a Texas Agricultural and Mechanical team missing Wade Taylor. It's rare to encounter college basketball totals that exceed 177 points, but that's exactly the case for this thrilling Southeastern Conference showdown at Rupp Arena, and it's easy to see why. Alabama boasts the fastest pace in the nation, ranking first in adjusted tempo according to KenPom, with an average of 78.4 possessions per game. Similarly, Kentucky thrives in a high-tempo environment. As I previously noted during Kentucky's matchup against Florida, head coach Mark Pope's Wildcats are more than comfortable embracing a fast pace, as evidenced by their top 30 ranking in both adjusted tempo and raw possessions per game. With both teams adept at pushing the pace and scoring efficiently, this game is set to be a high-scoring affair. Both Alabama and Kentucky carry top 15 marks in adjusted offensive efficiency, making this a clash between 2 of the most potent offenses in college basketball. For a total this high to be reached, defensive performances must be largely absent, and that is certainly a realistic scenario here. Kentucky's defense has struggled mightily throughout the season, particularly in Southeastern Conference play. The Wildcats rank 15th in the conference in defensive efficiency and 12th in opposing effective field goal percentage. Additionally, they have the second lowest opposing average possession length in the Southeastern Conference, meaning they fail to force their opponents into rushed or poor shot selections. To make matters worse, Kentucky ranks 15th out of 16 Southeastern Conference teams in opposing free throw rate, allowing conference opponents to reach the line more than 47% of the time. Alabama's defense hasn't fared much better. Against teams with top 25 offenses, the Crimson Tide has allowed an average of 84 points per game across 4 matchups. Considering all these factors, this game has all the ingredients for an up-and-down, high-scoring affair at Rupp Arena. A scenario where both teams exceed the 100-point mark would not be surprising. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Houston versus UCF. The Houston Cougars are set to travel to Addition Financial Arena in University, Florida, where they will take on the UCF Knights. Houston, ranked 10th, currently shares the top spot in the Big 12 standings. They boast an impressive overall season record of 13-3, accompanied by a flawless conference record of 5-0. On the other hand, UCF finds themselves tied for 4th place in the Big 12, with a solid season record of 12-4 and a conference record of 3-2. The last encounter between these two teams ended in a Houston victory, with a final score of 67-59. Only 3 teams have managed to surpass 70 points against Houston this season. Notably, 2 of those teams are ranked among the nation's top 5, while the third needed overtime to achieve the feat. UCF lacks the offensive strength required to penetrate Houston's formidable defense, and this deficiency is likely to cause them significant issues during the upcoming matchup. Defensively, UCF has shown vulnerabilities, allowing more than 80 points in 4 of their 5 Big 12 games thus far. Houston, in contrast, is expected to capitalize on these weaknesses by making a high percentage of their shots and dominating the offensive boards to secure second-chance opportunities. These teams employ vastly different basketball styles, and Houston is likely to impose their preferred slower-paced approach on UCF. The Knights will struggle to execute their offense against one of the nation's most elite defenses. When Houston successfully controls the pace of play, they are poised to accumulate points while limiting UCF's scoring opportunities. This disparity will likely leave UCF in a difficult position, unable to generate sufficient offense to keep up with the Cougars. Earlier this season, Kansas traveled to UCF and delivered a commanding performance, exposing the Knights' offensive inconsistencies. UCF's offensive capabilities do not inspire confidence against Houston's suffocating defense, which is among the best in college basketball. Unlike last year's team, which sometimes coasted during road games, this year's Houston squad has consistently delivered high-energy performances from start to finish. They have demonstrated their ability to shut down strong teams, which bodes well for their chances in this game. So the Houston Cougars to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full-game side pick. UCF already struggles to score at home, and now they face one of the most impenetrable defenses in the nation. Houston has a proven track record of preventing opponents from reaching even 60 points, with most teams failing to break 55. This matchup does not bode well for UCF, and their offensive struggles are likely to be on full display Saturday. Houston will control the tempo, slowing the game down considerably. According to KenPom, they are the 4th slowest team in the nation, which ensures their offense will remain efficient while keeping the overall scoring low. While Houston's offense is unlikely to struggle, they won't generate enough points to push the game over the projected total. In the last 8 meetings between Houston and UCF, 7 have ended with the total going under this line. The Cougars consistently impose their slow-paced style of play on opponents, leading to low-scoring affairs. UCF is expected to face significant challenges against Houston's defense, and as a result, the total score will remain low, with the Cougars dictating the pace. 6 of Houston's last 9 games have concluded with the total going under, and this matchup is likely to follow suit. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Creighton versus Connecticut. At precisely noon, the renowned Gampel Pavilion will once again open its doors to host an exciting matchup. The visiting Creighton Blue Jays, who currently hold an 11-6 record, are entering this game with considerable momentum after securing consecutive victories. Meanwhile, the number 14 ranked Connecticut Huskies, boasting a 13-4 record, have just returned home following yet another impressive win within the competitive Big East Conference. This game promises to deliver an exhilarating display of basketball. The question remains, which team possesses the skill and determination to emerge victorious? Personally, I've never been a huge fan of the Creighton Blue Jays, as I often feel they tend to be overhyped and overrated when they step onto the court or appear on the betting board. That being said, similar criticisms could be directed at the Connecticut Huskies, who, despite their ranking, are not quite the same formidable team that secured back-to-back national championships. This observation leaves the door open for Creighton to compete effectively in this game and potentially surprise those doubting their chances. So the Creighton Blue Jays to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In their last 4 home games, the Connecticut Huskies have consistently seen the final score surpass the total points line. Playing in Connecticut, they average an impressive 89 points per game, making their offense a dominant force. Against a Creighton defense that historically struggles in away games, the Huskies are poised to exploit this weakness. Their ability to secure offensive rebounds should provide them with ample second-chance opportunities, further bolstering their scoring output. It's reasonable to anticipate the Huskies scoring more than 80 points in this contest. On the other hand, Creighton has also shown a penchant for high-scoring games, with their last 3 matchups all exceeding the projected point totals. They have scored at least 80 points in their most recent back-to-back outings. Facing one of the nation's weakest defenses when it comes to defending the three-point shot, the Blue Jays are likely to capitalize on open looks and earn frequent trips to the free throw line. Given the trends established by other Big East teams that visited Connecticut and scored more than 80 points, it's safe to expect a similar performance from Creighton. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Kansas State versus Kansas. The Sunflower Showdown is set to take place on Saturday, marking an exciting clash between two longtime rivals. The Kansas State Wildcats come into this game after a tough loss on Tuesday against Texas Tech, falling 61-57 as +7 underdogs on their home court. Meanwhile, the number 9 Kansas Jayhawks face their own challenges, suffering a defeat at the hands of number 2 Iowa State on Wednesday night with a score of 74-57 as +5 underdogs on the road. Both teams are looking to bounce back from recent setbacks as they face off for the first time this season. This game marks the first of 2 meetings between these storied programs this season. Last year, they split their 2 encounters, with the home team winning both straight up and against the spread. Kansas State has struggled to find its rhythm in Big 12 play, entering this matchup on a notable scoring drought. The Wildcats have managed just 57 points in their last 2 games and have failed to break the 70-point threshold in their last 7 outings. On the other hand, Kansas showcased its defensive prowess against Central Florida, the 7th best defense in the Big 12, limiting them to a mere 48 points. It's clear Kansas has the capability to stifle a struggling Kansas State offense. Notably, Kansas tends to respond strongly following losses, with their 2 wins prior to recent defeats coming by an average margin of 33 points. The Jayhawks have also performed well at home, going 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games on their own court. Over the last 10 matchups between these 2 in-state rivals, Kansas has gone 8-2 straight up and 6-5 against the spread. That said, it's undeniable that Kansas State has had a challenging season overall. However, the current Kansas team doesn't exude the same dominance as in past years, lacking that intimidating edge against opponents. Historically, the home team has won and covered in 5 straight meetings between these rivals, but the opportunity to back Kansas State catching a significant number of points in a heated rivalry is hard to ignore. So the Kansas State Wildcats to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In last season's 2 meetings, the over hit in one game, and the other resulted in a push, with the teams combining to average 151.5 points per game, though one of those games went into overtime. According to Ken Palm, Kansas State ranks 183rd in tempo, while Kansas sits at 133rd, indicating that neither team is inclined to push the pace. The Wildcats' offense has struggled significantly in conference play, averaging a mere 62 points per game and failing to score more than 66 points in 5 of their last 6 contests. Similarly, Kansas has experienced back-to-back poor offensive performances and is averaging just 69 points per game in Big 12 competition. While the under has gone 3-6-1 in the last 10 matchups between these 2 teams, it is worth noting that Kansas State has seen the under hit in 9 of its 16 games this season, and Kansas boasts an impressive 15-1 under record. If you've been betting on overs in Kansas games this season, it's likely been a tough run, as the Jayhawks have established themselves as the premier under team in the nation with a staggering 1-15 over-under record. Meanwhile, Kansas State has seen the under hit in 5 of its last 6 games, with the team failing to reach 63 points in 3 of its last 4 outings. This matchup presents a clear case for a low-scoring affair. Don't overcomplicate your wagers or second-guess the trends. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.